Hello everyone. So today I'm in front of you to discuss about chapter-wise MCQs solving with time challenges. Now, to understand this, we need to first understand how can we deal with this topic. The first application that we have to do here is understand the concepts. Now, when you say understand the concepts, children, you need to remember there are two ways of doing it. The first way is by knowing the knowledge related to that concept and having the conceptual clarity. But remember that only having the conceptual clarity and understanding of that topic need not make you a person who can solve any problem in that topic. So, you need to go for the second step here, that is key formulae. So, this key formulae you need to by heart, you need to memorize, and you need to keep it in your mind until the end of your NEET or JEE examination. Now, you need to remember here, children, the most important fact that both of them are most necessary. So, you need to keep a reference book to get the required knowledge, and you need to also maintain a separate notebook for all the formulae that you are going to learn in the classes. So, it's important that you need to write all the formulae given in the classes and just keep that book with you all throughout, so that whenever you find time, you can go to that book, revisit it, and memorize the formulae when and where you want. Now, the next is, we can say, practicing with time constraint. Now, remember here, children, the examination that you're going to face requires time management. To do that, there are two ways. The first way is to set a timer. You need to take a timer and make sure that you solve the question in that stipulated time that you have kept for it. So, if you say, I am going to solve this question in biology in 1 minute, then you need to do it in exact 1 minute, children, or maybe less than that, depends on your wish. The same thing you have to do it in physics and also chemistry. Now, when you do that, the second way is time-based practice. Now, what is the difference between this time-based practice and setting the timer? Setting the timer, children, will make sure that you are going to finish the paper within the required time. But time-based practice indicates that you need to do the practice in such a manner that you should solve the question today in, let me say, 1 minute. The question that you're going to solve tomorrow in the same subject should be less than that time you have taken yesterday, that is 1 minute, which means you need to solve that problem within 50 seconds. The third day, it should be 45 seconds. The fourth day, it should be 40 seconds. And you need to find out what is your time limit in that chapter. And then you need to maintain the time limit all throughout your preparation. Now, the next is, of course, improving speed and accuracy. Now the question is, how are you going to do that? For this, we have three ways. The first is to identify your weak areas. Now, once you identify your weak areas, concentrate on that area more so that you will be gaining more confidence to crack the numericals, the problems, and the theory based questions on those topics in which you are weak. Second is review mistakes. Now remember children, you may commit a mistake while solving a problem. But remember, committing a mistake is not the major problem. The major part of the problem is not reviewing it and repeating the same mistake the next time. So you should not do that. So for that, you need to keep on reviewing mistakes that you have done in solving a problem, or even for that matter, any of the model question paper. So you need to make sure that you keep a separate time for reviewing the mistakes that you have done. Next is practice regularly. Remember, the more you practice, the more you will perfect. So because of that, you need to practice problems, numericals, and theory based questions every day regularly. So this is the third procedure, children. What is the fourth? The fourth is effective strategies for solving MCQs. Now, what do we do here? Here, we have got children three basic entries. First, read the question carefully. Now, remember, the more you read the question, the more fast you can solve the question. So, you need to be sure that you have understood every point mentioned in the question. You need to make sure that you have identified what is not necessary in the question and what is very much necessary in the question. So, after doing that, you need to go for the second process. Let's go for the second method, children. The second method is process of elimination. Now remember children, you may have heard some people, some students, some aspirants saying that the paper was lengthy. Now remember children, the examiner will never set a lengthy question paper until and unless he is sure that the options can be eliminated quite easily. So, you need to make sure that you know the process of elimination. Remember children, in NEET or JEE for that matter, there will be some question where the options can be eliminated quite easily. This process of elimination can be understood if you are thorough in the concepts. So, remember children, the process of elimination is of utmost importance in entrance examinations. Now, what is the third method? It is check your answers. So, if you have got an additional time, children, don't waste the time. Revisit your problems and the way you have solved it. Find out whether the answer that you have written is in the proper option or not. And after that, you can go for the marking of the OMR sheet. So, this is the third effective strategy for solving MCQs. Now, the next most important step, children, is tools and resources. Now, in this, we have two methods. The first one is practice DPPs. So remember children, every coaching institute will give us a DPP section separately. So you need to take those DPP sections, you need to solve it, and you need to practice it every day. So make sure that you keep a goal for solving the question. Maybe today I may solve 10 questions of physics. Tomorrow I will be solving 15 questions in the same time. Day after tomorrow, I'll be solving 20 questions in the same time. So go on increasing the number of questions that you solve, and then you can be sure that you will be in a fine shape and will fine tune yourself for entrance examinations. The next is, of course, textbook and study guides. So remember here children that you need to make sure that you have the NCERT textbook and also the study guides, the reference book for that questions. And this is how you can take the solving of MCQs. Thank you.